Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, in the biggest series of the year, the Astros open a 3-game set against the first-place Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown, Alan Ashby, Julia Morales joins us in a few minutes to see the battle for first place in this 3-game set. Meaningful games in July have arrived at Houston.
Well, it's good stuff, isn't it, Brownie? And really nice to see that the Astros have put themselves in this position.
Our Toyota drive to the playoffs will show you those standings right now. The Angels have a 1-game lead over the Astros.
And the Astros a chance now in this series to make a move, but you can see what the Angels have done. They've had a great month of July, 14-6, second best in the American League in that span. The Astros, on the other hand, have struggled a bit, but still time to turn things around. The Texas Rangers, the only other team that you could say still might have a prayer in the division.
Great 1-2 punch in Trout and Pujols. Mike Trout, though, will not be in the starting lineup tonight. He's getting an MRI on the left hand.
Mike Trout coming off of a huge game, made a diving catch that hurt that wrist, but Albert Pujols has had quite a season and then career against the Astros. 48 home runs against Houston, 130 RBIs. He has just torn them up over the years, and of course, we all remember some very big swings for Albert in postseason against the Astros. Brad Lidge certainly remembers one.
Colin McHugh has pitched well against the Angels this season at 5-2 in his last 7 starts as well.
Yes, he has, and he's utilized that high fastball that you see right there, picking up a couple of strikeouts. He's mixed in an occasional changeup. The curveball has been a big part of things for Colin, and just that constant moving of pitches around, the changing of speeds, has turned Colin back into that pitcher we saw last year, 5-2 in this recent span.
Coming up in Corriobol, one of the Angels' hottest pitchers got a rude introduction to the audacious young talent of the Astros, and one star in particular. Ash and I break down the rematch when we come back. Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Starting tonight for the Angels is lefty C.J. Wilson. He's in a nice groove, Ash.
Over the last 5 starts, 3-1. The Angels are 4-1 in those starts by C.J. Wilson. So he has picked it up for the Angels, and a big part of why they've been pitching so well. You can see some of the numbers that he has personally in that span. 2.56 ERA, the batting average against 2.31. C.J. Wilson pitching right now for the Angels like an ace of a staff.
AT&T Rewind shows you Carlos Correa's game against Wilson in June.
That was June 23rd in Anaheim, and Carlos Correa had a big one. And I have a feeling C.J. Wilson probably remembers him pretty well right now. A couple of line drive hits into left field, and then he got one that he unloaded on, a long bomb to left. One of the longer ones they've seen in Anaheim right down the line this year. So Carlos Correa has some good memories against this lefty going tonight for the Angels.
Coming up, Archangels. The Astros and Angels are set to duke it out with the AL West lead hanging in the balance. And a heavy hitter taking aim at the home team. How does Colin McHugh stack up against the Astros' new arch rivals? Julia gives us the answer coming up next.
Against Anaheim. This is our pitching performance powered by Kubota. You see it the last 2 seasons in 6 starts. He's 3-2 with a 2.08 ERA. He's holding these Angels to just a 200 average over those 2 years. 271 slugging, only giving up 2 home runs, 1 to Pujols, 1 to Trout. Trout, though, not in the lineup tonight against the Angels, which Colin is usually pretty good against. McHugh will definitely have a lineup that looks different tonight, but still a very tough one. So, Ash, I toss this up to you. What will be important for McHugh tonight when facing this Angels ball club?
Yeah, Julia, it's always night by night, I think, with any pitcher. But for Colin, I think, obviously establishing the strike zone and being able to utilize any of his pitches. He's really good with that little cutter or sometimes the slider when he's not sharp with the fastball. But I do believe when Colin's really having one of his good games, he is sharp with the fastball, able to bring it on the corners and also up in the strike zone. And I know that's what Brent Strom would like to be able to see him do.
Well, the numbers would indicate that that is a much improved area for Colin. As you can see, the fastball up to 51% the last 7 starts compared to 34%. And the whip percentage is up as well, Ash.
Well, when you go along with that, when he establishes that high fastball, then the curveball that he starts in that same slot becomes more effective, and the curveball has been a huge pitch for Colin.
Now as he gets ready for pitch number 1 of the night against the Angels, who have won 18 of 24. He's going against a lineup which is 7th in producing runs in the American League. He's gone 11-5 with a 4.25 ERA, and the 11 wins matches the best of his career for a single season. Last 5 starts, much better, 2.70. Here's the lineup now for Mike Scioscia's Angels, who are 55-43, the 3rd best winning percentage in the American League. The leadoff man is second baseman Johnny Giovatella, with Connor Gillespie, another newcomer for this Angel club, at third base. Cole Calhoun slips to the number 3 spot in right field. Mike Trout not playing tonight. He had an MRI on his injured left wrist. Albert Pujols, the DH, is the cleanup man. Eric Ibar has been very effective since he moved into the number 5 spot in the order behind Pujols. He's at second base, and C.J. Cron at first. Chris Iannetta, the catcher. Shane Victorino, a newcomer in a deal from Boston, in left field. And Daniel Robertson plays center field for Mike Trout.
Let's take a look at that defense behind Colin McHugh this evening for the Astros. In left field, it's Evan Gattis, 7th start in left field this year. Jake Marisnick roams center, and Colby Rasmussen right. On the infield, the left side, Luis Valbuena and Carlos Correa. On the right, it's Jose Altuve and Marwin Gonzalez doing a nice job with the bat and at first. Hank Conger gets the start behind the plate.
And just about ready. Colin McHugh awaits the baseball. He is 3-2 in his career against the Halos with a 2.08 lifetime ERA. He's pitched a number of outstanding games against the Angels, who are coming off a 10-game homestand. And the Angels have gone to a 7-3 start since the All-Star break, while the Astros have gone 6-3 out of the break. Now Giovatella at 267 with 3 homers. He has 36 runs batted in. Pitch to him is off the plate for ball 1. Sam Holbrook is the home plate umpire. Angels have been a good club with Giovatella as their leadoff man this season. He moves back from that one. That makes it a 2-ball, no strike count.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about with Colin. Can you establish that strike zone, especially with that fastball, and he misses on the first couple of the night.
He's won his last 2 starts here at Minute Maid Park. Pumps that one in for a strike, and it's 2-1.
And also what we talked about, he does have that tendency when the fastball's not being commanded to come with that small cutter slider of his.
He throws that pitch for a strike 72% of the time this year. Not chasing there, and Giovatella works the count his way to 3 balls and a strike. Both these clubs lost their previous series and had a day off yesterday. And that is a strike. Caught the edge. That makes it a full count on Giovatella, who was on his way to first base.
Strike zone by M.D. Anderson tonight, and we'll take a look at where that pitch was. Close, but likely out of the strike zone.
Ground ball goes foul, third base side. This is the 3rd start for McHugh against the Angels this season. May 7th at Anaheim, he got a no decision, giving up 2 runs in 7 1/3 innings. June 23rd in Anaheim, he won 13-3 with 8 innings of 9-hit 2-run baseball. Astros lost 2 of 3 in Kansas City over the weekend, but they got good pitching. Marisnick's in right center field for Houston. In the air, foul and out of play. Well, we've had a lot of buzzing around here regarding trade rumors this afternoon and early this evening, Ash. Seems to be a lot shaking in Major League Baseball.
It's funny when you get to this time of the year and you start watching the GM and the manager, and every move they make starts getting interpreted as a possible trade.
Up for ball 4, and Giovatella works a walk to lead it off for Connor Gillespie. The Angels have acquired a couple of left-handed hitting outfielders. David Murphy of Houston in a deal with Cleveland. David DeJesus of Tampa Bay.
A couple of good players, and both can be effective. What the Angels have had a tough time with this year is production out of left field.
Connor Gillespie, the left-handed hitting third baseman, arrived in a deal with the Chicago White Sox, taking over for the injured David Freese. And the toss goes over to first. Gio Vitella with 1 steal in 2 attempts. The Angels have 27 stolen bases for the season compared to the Astros 74. Both clubs similar in their runs per game, though. Gillespie takes that pitch for a ball. He came from the White Sox in a trade on Friday. Well, the Angels here now under the new general manager Bill Stoneman, who had been the old general manager. He took over for Jerry DiPoto, and he's been making some quick trades. 3 homers, 16 runs batted in for Gillespie with the Pale Hose this season.
Not sure what it was Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire, did not like about that first pitch. Certainly appeared to be at the inside edge.
Runner going, line drive, foul. It ricochets around the corner, and Colby Rasmus was playing it as a fair ball. He had his back to the play, and he could not afford to assume anything. So that's a foul ball for strike 1.
I think the Angels are thinking right now it may have been a fair ball. Well, at one point that was a long ways fair, but it appears from that distance to land foul.
And we don't see Mike Scioscia up on the top step of the dugout, so evidently no challenge is coming.
That's a break for the Astros. Not that it was called foul, but that it was foul, because that would be a big quick start for the Angels.
Angels have outscored their opponents by 61 runs this season. The Astros have a 67-run advantage over their opponents. So a lot of similar numbers for these two teams offensively this year. And a swing and a miss there. Conger comes up with it. It's strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So we're not seeing the sharpness early with the fastball, but that's the very good over-the-top curveball from Colin.
He is truly a thinking man's pitcher, Ash. He can adjust on the fly.
Well, he is that. He's a bright guy, and I think he teams that with some nice talent, the tools that he has on the mound, and he can be a very effective pitcher when the two are working together.
Well, you've seen it time after time when you were squatting behind home plate. First inning problems for a starting pitcher. So a guy who can really process very quickly what's not working and go to an effective plan B or C can really help himself. Runner going, and that's hit in the air, foul and out of play.
I'm wondering, watching the Angels run a couple of times here in the first inning, if they might not have a game plan today with the difficulties that have been had by Hank Conger trying to throw out runners this year. If the Angels have maybe collectively just said, we're going to run as much as we can.
They, of course, traded Conger to the Astros over the winter in the Nick Tropiano deal. Conger has thrown out 1 of 22 attempting to steal this season. Pulled foul. Oh, a fan reaching out, got his glove on it, couldn't hold it. What an effort.
What a reaction.
It's only fitting that he get the baseball.
Let's take a look at our Super Mo presented by Mattress Firm. Oh man, you've got to be able to hang on and complete that play.
That is an error, but Alfredo Griffin got him the ball. That's out toward left center field. Wide open spaces there. That is in the gap and going by the left fielder Evan Gattis. Here's run number 1 coming home. It's an RBI double. Gillespie drives in his 17th of the year with double number 13. The Angels lead it early 1-0.
That defense clearly shaded with Evan Gattis toward the line, and a fairly straightaway ball slightly toward left center field winds up dropping. That high fastball handled by Gillespie.
Right off the end of the wall, and Gaddis came back for it. Cole Calhoun steps up. Calhoun 276, 13 homers, 56 runs batted in. 6 for 18 in his career against McHugh. And it's strike one to Calhoun. Calhoun's driven in 20 runs in the month of July. That's tied for third best in the majors, second in the American League. Only his teammate Mike Trout with one more, 21, and Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies have more this month.
Yeah, for me, Cole Calhoun is a good player, but he gets lost in the shadows cast by Mike Trout and Albert Pujols.
That is a large shadow. Calhoun, 27 years old, went to Arizona State. He was drafted in the 8th round in 2010 by the Angels. And he fouls that one, first base side, still 0-2. Albert Pujols is on deck. Angels are 5-5 against the Astros. It's only their second series of the year at Minute Maid Park. The Astros won 2 of 3 here early in the season. It's high to Calhoun. That makes it 1-2. Cole Hamels apparently is in play for a trade, even though he has veto rights over most major league clubs. His start has been moved back to Friday night. The trade deadline is Friday afternoon. Broken bat, it goes, and the first baseman is there, Marwin Gonzalez, to get it to Colin McHugh for out number 1, advancing the runner to third on the shattered piece of lumber.
Nice quick reaction by Marwin to get to this ball, and also by Colin McHugh to instantly head toward the bag. That was a serious scud hitting that lumber.
Albert Pujols with the infield moving in. Has a runner at third and 1 out. Pujols with 29 homers is second in the American League to his teammate Mike Trout. He's driven in 62 runs. That puts him in the top 10 with a .260 average. It's in the dirt for ball 1. Eric Ibar's on deck. Pujols was the American League Player of the Month for June. He hit 13 homers that month. That tied the club record for the most in any month. Only struck out 8 times in 99 June at bats. He has well over 1,600 major league runs batted in. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Pujols. He has 130 career runs batted in against the Astros. There he ranks 28th on the all-time list, moving up closer to Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, you mentioned that 130 RBIs against the Astros all-time, 48 dingers.
Up and in for a ball, and it's 3-0 as he shot a look out at Colin McHugh.
Nobody likes a pitch up around their head, but this pitch was not far inside. It was really just a high fastball.
And he did say something to him. 3-0 pitch, and it's 3-1. Something like "Let's go, man," perhaps.
Take a look at that previous fastball that upset Albert, but you can see it's inside, but it's not like a pitch that's just going after the hitter.
Curveball, and it's ball 4. Pujols takes the walk. First and third, 1 out for Ibar now. Ibar, who's been so effective in this number 5 spot, has driven in 34 runs this season. with a .282 average. Earlier this year, third baseman David Freese was batting fifth. That was simply not working for the Angels. Now A.J. Hinch is now calling over his first baseman Marwin Gonzalez and the infielders to talk at the mound on this situation.
Yeah, I wonder if this is more about the defense than anything else, to make sure that we've seen again the Angels try to run a couple of times already. I doubt that Pujols would be involved in the running game, but can happen on occasions. But that instinctual play, do you get the double play or prevent the run at the plate? It depends on the type of ground ball you get, and maybe just that heads up notice from the skip.
AJ is moving Marwin off first base. He was very emphatic in indicating to him he did not want him holding on the runner. Trying to take the squeeze away, it would appear, from Ibar. That's a strike. 0-1. Marwin in tight, as is Valbuena at third base. Well, in a situation like this, the Angels would have a chance to not only score a run, but advance another runner on a successful bunt.
Ibar has 4 sacrifices on the year.
Out to Altuve, takes it on a bounce, backhanded flip. Correa fires safe at first. Run number 2 scores. The ball was not hit that hard, and it appeared to take a bite when it hit that dirt and create some spin for Altuve. So it's 2-0 Angels. Ibar gets his 35th run batted in.
Take a peek at what actually took place on the play. Just a little hesitation there by Jose Altuve, and it might have been what cost the play. Not quite gripping the ball right away. That good strong arm from Carlos Correa, but not enough.
But the play will be reviewed. Manager's challenge. A.J. Hinch just came out on the field.
How about Marwin Gonzalez in that first base stretch, and they may get this call.
They might get it overturned. On the call by Greg Gibson, the crew chief at first base. The ball may have been in the back of the glove before his foot hit the base.
We have seen a number of career first basemen not showing that kind of an effort with the stretch this year.
Yeah, he really got extended as far out as possible. Must have done the yoga workout today, which is daily available to the Astros players. Moving into a serious stretch, Ash.
Yeah, I think as we watch this play, the only question I would have is, did the heel of Ibar hit the bag initially? Usually that heel lands on dirt prior to the bag. But if the heel hits the bag, well, man, that's close.
It is really tight.
And I don't know with the initial safe call that there's much evidence to turn that around. But a great effort by Marwin.
Well, Correa, you could tell, was really rushing it on his end, because the way the ball checked up a little bit for Altuve, he seemed to be having a momentary bit of difficulty getting that grip for the backhanded flip, and then Correa tried to make up for lost time. Really gunned it, and then Marwin did what he could do, grab that baseball as soon as he could.
There's just that little hesitation as Altuve had a tough time gripping the baseball, and then you can see how close it is at first. And the right hand just did not grab the baseball initially.
And it's difficult for Altuve to charge that ball because of the way it was hit. He would have created a really short hop problem for himself, wouldn't he?
You don't get any pacing on that ball. That little jam shot, broken bat, flare coming your way on a hop. It's a big play in the first inning. The Angels have already put a singleton on the board. Keep them away from the crooked number would be the key.
It would seem to be worth a challenge even at this early stage of the game. Difference between 1-0 and 2-0 with the inning still going, if it's 2-0, could be awfully big. And Ibar's 35th run batted in is hanging in the balance here on this decision. Interesting that Ibar made the contact, got the ball in a place where the Angels could score that run. The Astros were trying to take that bunt away from him, but he wound up delivering. Maybe. We'll see.
It's one of those weird plays where by playing back for the double play, it may have actually cost, because had Altuve been drawn in, I think he might have caught that on the fly.
Yes. Sam Holbrook, home plate umpire. Greg Gibson has his back to you. He's the crew chief. The call is safe. It is confirmed, and it's 2-0 Angels. Ibar gets his 35th run batted in.
And I think it really comes down to, did the heel initiate the contact with the bag?
By just a fraction, Ibar was ruled to have beaten the throw. Now C.J. Cron batting. Three minutes and 25 seconds required to make that decision. 264, 6 homers, 19 runs batted in for Cron. And the pitch out, ball one. Ibar has 6 steals in 10 attempts.
Well, you can see early on the Astros believe the Angels are going to try to run as often as possible.
Yeah, they have been aggressive with their legs. All back on a good cut by Cron. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Cron snapped an 0 for 12 Sunday. Hit a home run in that game. Since his latest recall from the minors, you see Conger 1 for 22. Cron has hit .364 since June 29th.
And to kind of compound matters for Hank Conger, you mentioned it, the Angels had him last year. You have to know that Mike Scioscia realizes there have been issues with the throwing game.
2 balls and a strike. Chris Ionetta's on deck. Angels can be explosive. They've scored 10 runs or more 11 times this year. Curveball, and it's 3-1. Colin McHugh has won 5 of his last 6 starts at home for the season. He's 7-2 here with an ERA of 4.88. Runner going. Conger with the throw, and it's on the wrong side of the base. Stolen base. Oh, it's ball 4.
You really want to be careful as a catcher. If it's close enough, the pitch, to think you might get the strike call, go ahead and make the throw through, but that appeared to be well off the edge.
3rd walk of the inning for McHugh. Walks have not created major problems for him this year. He had 29 in 127 innings coming into this one. Now he's facing Chris Ionetta with 2 outs and 2 on. In the air, and the center fielder Marisnick comes in. The Angels grab the lead with 2 runs on 1 hit, leaving 2. The Astros up against C.J. Wilson in a moment. this 9 for A.J. Hinch. Jose Altuve at second base. Marwin Gonzalez at first. Carlos Correa, the shortstop. Evan Gattis, the left fielder tonight. Then he's followed by third baseman Luis Valbuena. DH Chris Carter. Catcher Hank Conger. Right fielder Colby Rasmus. And center fielder Jake Marisnik.
On the mound for the Angels, we talked about him. Left-hander C.J. Wilson, the veteran, has been pitching very well over his last 7 starts. Last time he got roughed up was the Astros back on June 23rd in Anaheim. But the overall numbers are good. 8-7 with a 3.5 ERA, 121 WHIP. 0-2 against the Astros. The Astros need to jump up and make more of that happen.
Mike McHugh, he has put together good numbers recently. 3-1 with a 2.56 over 5 starts. Last time out Wednesday, he beat Minnesota 5-2, going 5 innings. Jose Altuve bats. Hits one to left field. Jose Altuve hits it foul for strike 1.
That was very nearly one of those resounding early volleys.
301, 9 homers, 43 runs batted in, 9 for 31 against Wilson, who almost hit him with that pitch. 1-1. Altuve has really smacked the ball against left-handed pitching to the tune of 348. 40 hits and 115 at bats. There you have 3 homers and 10 runs batted in for him with a 924 OPS against southpaws. 1-2 for Wilson. Wilson's 7-7 lifetime against the Astros with a 4.56 ERA.
The more aggressive the hitter, the more effective that changeup.
Fastball sails high and away for a 2-ball 2-strike count. Wilson was drafted by the Rangers in 2001 in the 5th round. Signed as a free agent with the Halos after the 2011 season. It's the 3rd time he's faced the Astros this year. On the corner, strikeout looking. Altuve slowly departing.
Very well spotted, and we'll see where it shows up. Some part of the baseball catching the strike zone, and that's exactly what C.J. Wilson benefits from.
Marwin Gonzalez comes up next. He's been getting more playing time at first base. 262, 7 homers, 22 runs batted in, and why not? Hitting 340 in the month of July. Especially against left-handers. There's ball 1. Marwin, as a right-handed batter, has hit 309 this season. And he has a slugging percentage of .494 from this side of the plate. It's 2-0. Carlos Correa on deck. Wilson started the 2nd game of the year for the Angels. 34 years old now. In for his strike, and it's 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes. Right-handed batters are managing just a .229 batting average against Wilson. He's won 94 major league games with 69 losses.
I think some of that success might be coming from what appears to be an improved changeup.
In the air, and the center fielder moves in for it. Robertson. 2 outs.
Defensively for the Halos tonight. In the outfield, left to right, newly acquired Shane Victorino in left, Daniel Robertson in center, and Cole Calhoun in right. On the infield left side, Connor Gillespie and Eric Ibar. On the right side, Johnny Giovatella and C.J. Cron. Chris Iannetta behind the dish.
Carlos Correa is 3 for 3 this season against C.J. Wilson, including a homer. 288 for Carlos. He takes ball 1. He has 8 homers, 27 runs batted in. Carlos fouls it. Carlos hit a 3-run homer in Anaheim June 24th against Wilson. He was 2 for 9 against Kansas City this weekend, driving in a couple. Wilson pounds inside, and he'll cut that pitch to get it really in tight on the hands of a right-handed batter sometimes. Toward the right field corner. This is hit well. Calhoun. That's a Correa opposite field homer, number 9. 2-1 Angels as Correa is now 4 for 4, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in against Wilson this year.
This kid is absolutely amazing. I really don't think anybody with the club feels like there's anything he can't do. He's played a stellar shortstop. He swings the bat with complete authority. You want to talk 5-tool players. This is a guy that's legitimately very close, if not there, where you can hit 300 and hit with power and do all the other aspects of the game.
Ball 1 to Evan Gattis. He does put on a show almost every night in some fashion, either with his glove, his arm, or his bat.
I don't think he was thinking right field. He just got to pitch away and up, and it goes naturally that way. He's a big young man, and he's strong and athletic.
That was the 12th homer off Wilson this season. That one slips out of his hand. It's 2-1 to Gattis. Gattis is playing left field tonight for the 7th time this year. He leads the club in runs batted in with 57. With 16 homers and a .246 average. Ground ball third. It comes up. A good play by Gillespie, who was able to make that adjustment for out number 3. Correa gets a run back with his 9th homer, his 28th run batted in. 2-1 Angels after 1.
Hall of Fame bobblehead, a replica pinstripe jersey, and a replica Hall of Fame plaque. Each to 10,000 fans. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS today. What a weekend it was for that guy.
Absolutely amazing, Julia. And the folks who weren't able to go can celebrate it here.
One of the great ones right there. And he did it with daily hard work and perseverance, loaded up with a great deal of talent.
And he made a terrific speech. Victorino pushes a bunt first base line, and McHugh cannot get him. There's a leadoff bunt single by the newcomer to the Angels, Shane Victorino. He was just acquired yesterday from the Red Sox.
Wonder if he thought on the plane ride heading to meet his new team, boy, I'm going to lay down a bunt that first opportunity I have. I don't know if he thought about it, but it sure worked out perfectly.
Yeah, Victorino was just here with the Red Sox, as you know, last week. That's hit number 2, and Daniel Robertson will follow him. There's ball 1. Victorino is 5 for 5 in stolen bases this season. He's been injured quite a bit of the year. .290 for Robertson. No homers, 7 runs batted in for the former Texas Ranger. Runner goes, and there's a bouncer. Correa behind second has only the play at first by putting the runner in motion. The Angels avoid a double play. And it's a runner at second and 1 out.
Well, you would never know statistically that the Angels have been on the move, but it certainly works in their favor with that ground ball.
Yeah, and maybe, as you indicated earlier, perhaps just their game plan tonight is to attack on the base paths, not their normal game plan. Gio Battella comes up. He drew a leadoff walk and scored in the first. Line shot to right field. That's in for a single. Colby Rasmus comes up with it. No advance to third by Victorino. He had to wait to see if the ball might be caught, and so it's first and second with 1 out. That's rare. A single to right field. No advance by the runner from second.
You know, if you had a young guy at second base, he would be accused of being that young player who just didn't read things right. Shane Victorino has been in these wars far too many times to have this happen. And a glance and knowing ahead of time the depth of the outfielder would tell you the answer on that one.
So he stays at second. Hit number 3 of the game. Gives the Angels runners at first and second for Connor Gillespie, who hit that RBI double to left earlier. Ball 1 to Gillespie. He's a Wichita State University product. First round pick by the Giants in 08.
Does not appear that the high strike is in effect yet.
Pitch down and in, takes the count to 2-0. Lance McCullers takes the baseball tomorrow night for the Astros against Garrett Richards. Thursday night, it's Scott Kazmir in his first home start at Minute Maid Park for the Astros. And Santiago, the lefty, goes. Hector having a fine year. He's 5th in ERA in the American League. Maybe the Angels start. That's over shortstop. Again a hit. And Gaddis comes up with it. Here's the go-ahead and the throw in toward third base. Run number 3 scores. Gillespie with an RBI single, and it's 3-1 Angels. With Gio Battella taking third base. Short single by Victorino does pay off.
Certainly a better read here by Victorino on just one of those little flares that finds no man's land. But also taking advantage possibly of Evan Gaddis being defensively in left field.
4 hits for the Halos, and now it's Calhoun who grounded out to first. Angels last year won 98 and lost 64. They won this AL West by 10 games a year ago. Infield shifts around. Popped up. McHugh up on top of the mound. Now gives away Valbuena calling behind him. 2 outs. That's a difficult play for a pitcher, backpedaling up to the top of the mound. Valbuena made sure that he was the guy who made that catch.
Bottom line, if you're a pitcher and you hear an infielder call, just get out. No arguments involved, and that's what ultimately Colin McHugh does.
Roberto Hernandez is warming up for Houston. Albert Pujols walked in the first inning. Ball one is low to Pujols, who's 5 for 15 lifetime against McHugh with a homer. Albert has really lit it up lately. He and Trout have been a major 1-2 punch. Curve is ball 2, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Angels are 23 and 22 on the road. Mike Trout sitting this one out, at least so far, after the MRI on his left wrist. He attempted that diving catch on Sunday, but then later hit a grand slam in the game. And evidently the wrist started acting up on him after the game. That's fouled, and Colby Rasmus will go as far as he can, but will not get to it. Sometimes players might have an injury during a game, but the pain from it is masked by the adrenaline from playing, and then after the game it begins to throb.
Mike Trout is driven to be a great player, and he is one. And I think that drive keeps you in there probably beyond where common sense might take over at times.
He's the man right now. Tremendous season for Mike Trout. Now it's 3-1 to Pujols. Colin does not often struggle this way with his control. Unusual number for Pujols compared to his career numbers in these situations. Ground ball goes through and makes it 4-1 Angels. On the RBI single to left by Pujols, his 63rd run batted in.
Well, for the moment, everything the Angels are hitting, winding up finding a hole somewhere.
That's the 4th hit of the inning, the 5th of the game. And Brent Strom is on his way. Ibar will be the next batter. There are only 5 teams playing better than 500 baseball right now in the American League, Ash.
It's surprising.
Yes, it is. And that may lead to more trades as we get closer to the deadline with so few teams out of the hunt. Ibar to left field. Evan Gaddis to his left for the play to end it. And in the second inning, it's 2 more runs, 4 hits, and 2 men stranded. Angels lead 4-1. Wilson shooting for win number 9 of this season, has been given good run support early in this game. Valbuena has the home run lead for the Astros with 19. He's driven in 40 with a 198 batting average, and he is 4 for 4 with a homer against C.J. Wilson. There's strike 1. Actually, left-handed batters have a higher batting average against Wilson this season. Slider missing there. That takes the count to 1-1. Wilson at times will shoot for corners and fall behind hitters. That's not a really good swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 0 for 10 his last 3 games. And in fact, that streak goes back to an 0 for 14 for Valbuena. He missed 3 games with a sprained left big toe. He started 10 games now since then. Chris Carter on deck. Foul ball. 2-2. The curveball has been a very effective pitch for C.J. Wilson, but he only throws it about 10% of the time this year. He's throwing it less than he has in the past, but the batting average against that pitch is 161.
I think some of that might come back to what I noticed early on, the changeups to the right-hand hitters.
Valbuena looks out at the mound. He gets drilled on a 2-2 offering by Wilson. That's the 9th hit batter for Wilson this season.
At Lowe's, we never stop improving, and neither does Chris Carter. Astros started 8-9 at home this year. Carter hit .071 in that span, and some other numbers that came along. And that with 2 home runs in those games. The Astros are now 25-8 in their last 33 home games. Carter hitting .279 in that span, a .407 on base, .674 slugging with 10 dingers in that span. So Chris Carter has been a big part of success here recently at home.
He hits one high to right center field, sends it on a long flight, and that ball is a Chris Carter bullpen 2-run homer. Now 4-3 as it's number 17 for Carter, and that gets the place rocking.
Yeah, right. Timing can be everything.
Good lead in, Ash.
Yeah, baby. And one swing like that gets you right back in the game with the Angels. That's taking advantage of a guy getting plugged to start the inning.
Got 2 home runs for the Astros early in this game. They have 138 this season. Hank Conger, the batter. High to left field. That's going to go foul. Into the upper deck. Strike 1 to Conger, and the Astros bring out the big lumber early. They still lead the majors in long balls now with 138. Colby Rasmus is on deck. Strap on your seatbelts tonight. This could be a wild ride. Breaking pitch takes the count to 1-1 on appeal. Greg Gibson, the first base umpire, with that call. That was a 421-footer for A.J. Hinch's DH tonight. Now another hit batter. And the fans are really unhappy. Wilson indicating with his leg to the umpire that maybe Conger got in the way of that one. And intentionally tried to get hit by the pitch. He's going to be visited by pitching coach Mike Butcher.
I don't know how much Hank Conger moved on that pitch. To me, it just looked like he froze. And that takes a gutsy man to take a pitch like that. He just froze. And he actually didn't move that knee back until after getting hit. Look at this. Just frozen. I mean, that's got to hurt. Yeah, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Other than drill him just above the knee. That's a tough man.
Sam Holbrook went out to the mound. There has not been an official warning for these two teams after the two hit batters.
I would take the same approach. I don't think I see anything of an intentional variety here.
Well, it wouldn't make sense with a 4-1 lead to start hitting people. Colby Rasmus, the batter, 13 homers, 34 runs batted in, a .233 average. He hits one foul.
Let's go back to Chris Carter and that big home run he drives. He got a pitch pretty much through the heart of the plate, but down above the knees. Stays on it long enough to drive it in that direction. Not the first ball he's hit in that bullpen this year.
17 long balls for Carter. Rasmus looks at it, and it's 1-1.
Can't watch the long ball too many times, can you? Chris Carter has, I think, admittedly had his struggles, but get those big swings at big times, and this, quite frankly, even though it's early in the ballgame, a big one for the Astros to get back into the halos.
Foul back, and it's 1-2. The Astros have won 4 in a row at home and 9 of their last 10. They're 33-17 here at Minute Maid Park, one of their best home records ever for the first 50. Rasmus strikes out. Number 2. Marisnick will be next. Both starting pitchers taking their lumps early in this one. Marisnick at .232 has 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. Jake was 3 for 10 in the Kansas City series. Friday he had 8 putouts in Scott Kazmir's Astros debut. That was the most fine Astros outfielder this season. Tried to butt his way on and fouled it for strike 1.
Well, he seemed like an obvious choice to play center field in that very big ballpark in Kansas City, and he was roaming all over the place.
Kazmir had a lot of introductions tonight to the home media who had not had a chance to talk to him since he became an Astro. Not in person anyway, maybe on the phone. In the dirt for a ball, that makes it 1-1. Scott will pitch Thursday night here against one of his former clubs, the Angels. What a debut he had with those 7 shutout innings Friday night.
Just masterful. It made it look easy in the heat of KC.
The Astros are 9-11 in the month of July. They've had winning records in every month this year. Foul tip, and it's 1-2 to Marisnick. Well, there's a lot of buzz around Cole Hamels tonight. Trade rumors heating up on him. His next start has been moved back to Friday night. The trade deadline will be that afternoon. The Astros supposedly are in on the mix. 2-2. There was another story today that Hamels, who has the right to approve a trade to many teams on the major league list, would not come to Houston. That was reported earlier and was denied. We're not sure where that stands. Charlie Kerfeld, one of the big scouts for the Phillies, as that pitch comes in, ball 3. 3-2. Charlie evidently was seen scouting the Rangers AA Frisco club, and the Rangers are reported to be trying to close a deal for Hamels. Dodgers also reported to be interested in either Hamels or David Price of Detroit. Ground ball third. Gillespie throwing to first base for the out on Marisnick. And Conger advancing on out number 2. See what else has been stirred up.
Tulowitzki going to the Jays. Papelbon traded today to the Nationals from the Phillies. Tyler Clippard has gone to the Mets. Ben Zobrist to the Royals. Thomas Ramirez earlier traded to the Pirates.
These Kansas City Royals are trying to load up. And I don't know exactly. I imagine early on Zobrist plays in left field, but then does he move into second base when they get their left fielder back?
There's been some speculation about that. Alex Gordon, did you get a time frame on Gordon over the weekend when he might be back?
I didn't get the impression it was going to be long, and I think he's been on the DL roughly about a week, so maybe another week.
Altuve bats. He struck out looking. Ground ball in a hole. Off the glove of Ibar into left field. Conger coming home. And he ties it. Throw into second is out on Altuve, but the run scored before the third out was turned in at second base. So Altuve gets credit for an RBI single, and the Astros tie it. With 3 runs on 2 hits. Carter driving in 2 with this shot to right center. It's 4-4 and a wild one after 2 at Minute Maid.
Sneaks the ground ball beyond Ibar, and that's going to score the run. Looked like a really close play at second base as I watched it from this distance, but no argument on the play whatsoever. But yeah, we've got one of those games that you get that early feel that, oh dear, maybe not exactly going the way the Astros would like, and yet they come right back in. That's close. That is just really close.
7-4 play on Altuve. Now C.J. Cron takes in their strike one, and a fresh start for Colin McHugh. Cron drew a walk in the first inning. One of 3 Angel walks in that frame. They have 4 runs on 5 hits. There's a high heater, and it's 1-1. It's a pitch we talked about earlier that has led to increased success for Colin McHugh along the way this season.
Looks like he's under it a bit and is just taking off on it.
That hits the corner, and it's 1-2. This game will test the staying power of these 2 starters tonight.
2 guys that were hot coming in.
Curveball makes it 2-2. Is the pitch that has been successful, and he goes to it for a strikeout.
Our Geico quote of the day is Angels pitcher Hector Santiago on the Astros. He said a couple of years ago you'd go into Houston thinking you were going to get a 3 or 4 game sweep. It's not like we go in there and run through that team. If we play our game, I think we're still a better team, but they're really good.
Thanks. Chris Iannetta starts the bat, and the appeal goes to first. That's a strike. Iannetta hit a fly ball to center earlier. Mr. Santiago has really been one of the main reasons the Angels have been so good. He's in the top 5 in ERA in the American League. He'll go Thursday night against Scott Kazmir. That is a premium matchup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Glove on, ready for action. Curveball catches Iannetta out in front, and it's 1-2. 54 pitches for McHugh.
Over the top curveball. He's got a really good one. I didn't think, Brownie, that the Angels starting staff was going to be part of the big talk about their club coming in this year, and yet they are 3rd best in the American League, trailing Oakland and Tampa Bay with the starting pitching. Well, and that with Jared Weaver going on the DL.
Right, and he was an 18-game winner for them last year. Matt Shoemaker won 16 for them a year ago. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. Well, the New York Mets got a blow when their relief pitcher Henry Mejia was suspended 162 games for a positive test on PEDs. He had just come off an 80-game suspension July 7th. Drive to left field. Gaddis back, looking up, backing off the wall, but that's in the seats. Iannetta hits number 8 of the season, and it's 5-4 Angels.
I don't know if anybody uses the term Donnybrook anymore, but we've got one of those going on right now.
Yeah.
There's that little cutter effort. Not a bad location. It's bad when the hitter sits right on it like that, though.
Shane Victorino bats. Field shifts around. There's ball 1 on Victorino. Roberto Hernandez warming up again for Houston for the 2nd time tonight. Victorino fouls it straight back. He's a former switch hitter. For a few years now, he's batted exclusively from the right side. The Angels traded Josh Rutledge to get him. At the time they acquired him, their left fielders were combining for a .212 batting average. Fouls it back. 5 homers, 28 runs batted in, and a .589 OPS. Matt Joyce has been the lefty hitting left fielder for most of this season. So now they have increased their depth quite a bit here in just the space of a few days with 3 acquisitions. Ground ball to third. Valbuena gets Victorino. 2 outs. Daniel Robertson to follow.
May I say of Luis Valbuena, he's played a really fine third base this year.
Robertson grounded out in the 2nd inning. There is strike 1. The Astros with that best winning percentage in the American League at home, trailing by 1 right now. They've gone 25-8 in their last 33 home games, and they have won or split 7 consecutive home series, 6 wins and 1 split. No balls, 2 strikes to Robertson. In the Papelbon trade, the Nationals acquiring him, he agreed to terms for 2016 as well with them. Bouncer shortstop, Correa coming in, quick transfer, and he gets him. The Iannetta homer cracks the 4-4 game and makes it 5-4 Angels in the 3rd.
start at first base. We saw him start at first on Sunday, so back-to-back starts for him. And A.J. Hinch saying again today that he's got to decide which guy is going to play at first, which makes sense offensively and defensively. Marwin's the best balanced player at first today, trying to get some right-handed batters in there against C.J. Wilson, but really likes the way Marwin's been swinging the bat lately, guys.
He has forced his way into that playing time. Thanks, Julia. Marwin hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning. Third baseman Gillespie even with the bag. Now he's creeping in tighter, and there's ball one. Julia, were you pretty uncomfortable this weekend in the heat and humidity of KC?
It was really hot, Brownie, but I heard it was hot up in Cooperstown, too.
Oh, it was smoking hot yesterday.
Did you get a little sun?
Oh, yeah, the lobster look returns to the booth.
It's a good look.
Tonight, yeah, that's a major sunburn problem. It's 3-0, but what a wonderful weekend. Everything was just absolutely the best. And congratulations to all those Astros fans who traveled so long to get there. That's a strike, 3-1. Julia, you were busy, but you may not have seen some of the stories. There was a group that came from Houston on the bus, 25 hours each way.
Wow.
There was another group of 4 people who drove the same number of hours each way to attend that. And there's a leadoff walk. The first walk of the night for Wilson, who also has hit 2 batters. And Craig and Patty, Connor, Kevin, Quinn getting into the Hall of Fame on Monday then to see the plaque which had been put up. And the third week in August, that plaque will be removed from the Hall of Fame and brought to Minute Maid Park so the fans here in Houston can see it. Just a terrific time. There it is. Right next to Frank Thomas. And the first word is gritty on that plaque. Craig likes that. I thought the introduction on videotape of Craig by Brad Ausmus was absolutely magnificent. Mike Morin warming up in the pen for the Angels. Brad really nailed it. Carlos Correa, who hit the home run to right field in the first inning, comes up for the second time. Here's ball one. Nine homers in 42 games. Marcus Semien has 8 in 97. J.J. Hardy has 6 in 69.
Leads you to wonder who's going to be the Silver Slugger winner for shortstops in the American League.
Yes, it does.
Can you win one when you haven't been there all season long?
Yep. You can.
Can you win one at first base when you barely played at first base over the course of the year?
Not sure about that. What happened to Mr. Rafael Palmeiro of the Texas Rangers? Is that your reference?
That is my reference, yes.
Okay. 1 and 2. You know, Ash, the numbers escape a lot of us. But just checking today, because Jane Forbes Clark in her introduction to the players at the Hall of Fame ceremony was talking about this. There have only been about 215 players voted into the Hall of Fame by the baseball writers. Only about 215. 18,500 players have played Major League Baseball.
Yeah, well, I kind of have that perspective from the larger number. And certainly appreciate what Craig Biggio has done to get his way into the Hall of Fame. Earning it all the way.
In the dirt, and it's 2 and 2.
Aren't Frank Thomas and Jeff Bagwell born on the same day?
Yes, sir.
And I found that interesting that there's Craig Biggio right next to Frank Thomas.
Well, Jeff Bagwell could be up next year.
Sure hope so.
That'll be his 6th year on the ballot. And he's received over 50% of the votes in his last 4 tries. Pitch down and in. Good play by Iannetta. And it's a full count now. Gonzalez the runner. Trevor Hoffman could be going in. Billy Wagner is eligible next year. Mike Piazza missed by only 30 votes this past year. He could be going in. And Ken Griffey Jr. should be a first ballot Hall of Famer next year. Good article today by Jesus Ortiz of the Houston Chronicle on the voting. And the thinking is that after the 4 players were voted in this year, kind of loosening the logjam, maybe that makes it quite a bit easier for Jeff Bagwell and some of the others to be voted in next season.
I hate to hear the word easier thrown in there because for me, Jeff Bagwell is a guy that earned it.
Correa takes a close pitch for a walk. Now back-to-back walks bring up Evan Gattis.
Both pitchers have had some close pitches not called in their favor. As you can see, that ball was clearly inside. Now watching Carlos Correa play this game, whether it's a home run or just watching him take a pitch like that, he is so good and professional.
Gattis grounded out to third in the first inning with Morin in the bullpen. Wilson tries to hang on to this 5-4 lead. He's thrown 51 pitches. Gattis takes it, and it's ball 1. That last time Wilson faced the Astros here, he lost 13-3, gave up 8 hits and 7 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. That was June 23rd. Buena's on deck. In the air to center field. Robertson backing. Both runners tagging. Here's the catch. Marwin heads for third. And the throw goes into second. A very good one on out number 1. Correa stayed at first base. And Valbuena will bat.
Yeah, a productive at bat. If you can pick up at least the 1 run in the inning. Well, that was a great shot of a hitter with his head and eyes right down on the baseball. And I think Evan thought he really should have gotten that one better.
Yep. His head a little bit. Valbuena was hit on a 2-2 pitch back in the second inning. Double play depth for Ibar and Giovatella. Carter's on deck. And it's ball 1. It's announced today that the Baseball Hall of Fame has changed the Baseball Writers Association electorate. Potential voters meet requirements as active members covering the game while providing a 10-year grace period for those no longer active. Line shot. That's a double play. What tough luck for Valbuena. Caught by Cron, and then he doubles Correa off first. 3 unassisted. No runs, no hits, a man left after 3, 5-4 Angels.
your clues today. Played 13 seasons for 6 different teams. There's 2 of those teams he played for twice. Traded for both George Foster and Candy Maldonado, and played every position except shortstop, center field, and pitcher. Remember to tweet Brownie and Ash your guesses, and then we'll tell you later in the broadcast who this Astro is.
Fun. Thanks, Julia. Fly ball out to center field on the first pitch to Johnny Giovatella. There's one pitch, one out here in the fourth for Colin McHugh. And the Angels up 5-4.
Julia's getting really tough with those questions.
It is very difficult, like a stern school teacher.
I'm just giving the viewers what they want.
Yeah.
Challenging.
You're right.
Question.
We report, they decide, right? Gillespie is 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. 5-6-0 for the Angels with 4 men left. 4-3-0 for the Astros with 1 man left. There's ball 1. 28-year-old Colin McHugh last year was 11-9 with a 2.73 ERA. Shooting for win number 12 of the year tonight. Altuve to his right. Takes care of out number 2.
Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.tv Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Two down, and it's Calhoun batting. Calhoun is 0 for 2 tonight. Astros overshifting on him as usual. And to complete the change in voting standards for the baseball writers, eligible voters from now on must be active members or retired for no more than 10 years, starting in 2016. It was feasible for somebody to vote after being retired for 20 years or more, we'll say, in the past. So the effort is being made to try to get people who are not too far removed from the game to do the voting. 4 balls, 2 strikes. And that will drop the number of voters for next year. Now it's 1-2. The Orioles lead the Braves 7-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th in Baltimore. Chris Davis has hit a pair of homers, giving him 24 this year. Foul, and it's 1-2. This is really some kind of a week with teams jockeying for trades, competing with each other to try to improve their clubs. What's that? Mustache and Correa? All right. We'll have to read that again. Oh, if you must, Ash. If you must, Ash.
Oh.
Correa's their favorite. Okay. If you must, force them to have a favorite. Struck him out. That's number 2 for Colin McHugh. And his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. 5-4 Angels.
Duel to the last game of the season and beyond in 1980, playing 5 consecutive one-run games down the stretch and finishing the season tied for the NL West lead. It culminated in a 1-game playoff at Dodger Stadium, which the Astros won 7-1. Ash, you played in some tight races like this, haven't you?
Yeah, in fact, that ball game I was catching on, and it was an amazing series. After losing 3 games to the Dodgers, finally winning in that 163rd game of the year and moving on to the postseason. Great struggles with those teams.
Chris Carter takes strike 1. He ripped a fastball for a 2-run homer in the second inning to the Astros right center field bullpen. 5-4 Angels. It's a 1-ball 1-strike count for C.J. Wilson. Yankees trailed 5-0 against the Rangers, but then they sent 15 men to the plate in the second and scored 11 runs in that inning. 2 balls 1 strike. The Rangers evidently are in on Cole Hamels, according to reports. We talked about that earlier with Charlie Kerfeld being assigned to watch their Double-A club. If Charlie is watching a minor league club, there's something serious being considered by the Phillies. You know that. He was the guy who was very helpful in the Phillies-Astros deals in terms of that Philadelphia management wanting Charlie's input on the Astros. And Phillies giving up minor leaguers.
Was it possibly ribs night at the ballpark?
It might have been. Strike 3 call. Carter's caught looking. Strikeout number 3. What do you think, Ash?
Well, I think he's been a heck of a pitcher. Relies a lot on a changeup, and he's got a good one. And went on. You saw what he did a week ago with the no-hitter. Could, when you mentioned the Texas Rangers, that's a forward-thinking move. I would imagine, looking toward next year to load up and see if the Rangers can regroup on that pitching staff.
And Conger bats. That's strike 1 to him. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the second inning. 3 pitchers are working tonight who are mentioned in trade rumors. David Price of Detroit, James Shields of San Diego, and Jeff Samardzija of the White Sox. Line drive left field, in for a hit for Conger. Picked up by Victorino. Hit number 4 for Houston. Conger's on for the second straight time tonight.
Hank Conger with the Angels struggled from the right side of the plate. That was a very good swing, and he's developed considerably this year with this swing. Watch it. Good stuff. I would say if you were putting it on the tee, that's about where you'd like to set it.
Colby Rasmus with the runner Conger on at first. Comes around for the second time. He struck out in the second. To right field. Calhoun makes his way over toward the line. 2 outs. And Marisnick will come up. Jed Lowry continues to play at Double-A. He's scheduled to play 1 more game tonight for Corpus Christi. Then that club is hitting the road. He'll report here to Minute Maid Park tomorrow to be reevaluated.
Probably some of the folks are all over your Who's That Astro tonight.
Oh, they already have it?
Killing it.
Jake Marisnick grounded out. Fouls it away. Strike 1. He happens to be in the ballpark tonight, right?
Yeah, he does. As a matter of fact. Not exactly a guest appearance either.
Julia, we are cooking up a very, very difficult question.
Oh, really?
Future, yes.
Like a name that Astros question? Or
Yes.
is this different?
Name that Astro.
Uh-oh.
They want tough. We're going to give them tough.
Do we have a headshot of the guy?
That is our problem. We like these obscure players, but if we don't have headshots of them, we can't use the question.
I feel like we could still ask.
Could we do a silhouette?
Who applied that rule to this?
Not sure. 2 balls and a strike.
Both these pitchers really up against it. Wilson at the 66 pitch mark. That line drive double play really bailed him out in the last inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Valbuena smacked one, and it was caught by Cron. See, there has to be a face there in that silhouette. That's our rule, Ash.
Well, I feel like we should play Rule Breaker once in a while.
Okay.
We could do an artist rendering.
Close pitch, ball 3. Now a full count to Jake. Marisnick is 4 for 9 lifetime against Wilson, who takes a little walk. Since the Astros were on the road for a few days, A.J. Hinch got questions today about other injured players. Sam DeDuno, unfortunately, headed for arthroscopic hip surgery next week for a hip labrum injury, and Brad Peacock not throwing, shut down for now. Flared, and the first baseman Cron digs up the right field line. That is a foul ball. And it could have been big trouble for the Angels, but just foul to keep the count full.
That had a chance of being an ugly thing of beauty right there.
Brad Peacock has been out for weeks with a strained oblique, and it just has not healed, so he cannot yet do any throwing. 3-2, the runner goes, and it's ball 4, and the inning continues with walk number 3 of the night for Wilson. And Altuve bats. Altuve struck out looking in the first. He had an RBI single in the second. Phillies are leading at Toronto 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Now that the Phillies are selling off, they're starting to win games.
There you go. Make sense of it.
Strike 1 call to Altuve. Phillies scored 11 runs Sunday against the Cubs. They've won 4 in a row. They're 8-1 since the All-Star game.
Players are saying, can you help us out? We need to make a run here.
Up the middle and into center field. Conger turning third. Here's the throw to the plate from Robertson, cut off, and the tying run scores. Altuve in a rundown. Marisnick coming home, throw to second. That run scores. Tremendous job by the Astros of getting 2 runs home to take the lead. Altuve occupied the Angels in a rundown while Marisnick scored from first. And the Astros have their fans up and applauding. They lead it now by 1. credited with 1 run batted in, but here's the way the rundown went. He kept the Angels occupied while a 2nd run scored.
Yeah, for me that ruling is probably correct. Right about now is when Marisnick decides to come, and that's not on the hit. It's on Altuve's ability to get in that rundown and extend it. Well, that walk of Marisnick could prove crucial in this ball game. Now Altuve, this is heads up. I mean, you're already caught in the rundown, and maybe intentionally so.
And now 6-5 Astros as Albert Pujols fouls it back, strike 1. Crazy game. Now the ruling has been changed. Altuve has been credited with a 2-run single. Marisnick picking up that go-ahead run, steaming home, and scoring all the way from first on a single by Altuve to make it 6-5. Fouled away, and it's 0-2. Colin McHugh working the 5th inning here. He would need to go 5 to qualify for a win. Pujols not chasing that curve in the dirt, and it's 1-2.
So Altuve's caught in the rundown, and now because of that rundown, he's saying, go ahead and go. And that's why I would contend it, just for me, that run scores on a fielder's choice. But it doesn't matter. It's a 6-5 lead for Houston.
The Astros have him in an overshifted position on Pujols, as is the norm. He started the bat. Pujols is deemed to have checked the swing, and it's 2-2 on a Greg Gibson call.
Let's take our private peek. Oh, that bat clearly went through the plate. That's a strike, and a missed call.
Pulled, and there's Valbuena. 1 out.
And again, I'll say Luis Valbuena, it's been a quiet performance down at third base, maybe for a lot of people this year, but he's played a really steady and good third base.
Excellent play. 6 in a row retired by McHugh. Ibar's the batter, 0 for 2 and run batted in. Showing bunt, looking at ball 1. Joe Thatcher was designated for assignment by the Astros July 20th. He has cleared waivers and has elected to be a free agent now. Foul back, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Wonder how much that comes into when you're a lefty, a bullpen guy. Teams need them year after year, and odds are that somebody's going to give you a call.
True. Nice vantage point there with the meal to go. Flared up the middle. Correa can't flag it down. It's a looping single by Ibar. Hit number 7 now for the Angels, with Cron batting next.
All out effort. Just no man's land. These soft hits can drive a pitcher and the defense crazy.
Yeah, it's not quite as enjoyable as listening to Brad. That is not an entertaining soft hit for Colin McHugh.
You've been in an elevator today?
Yeah. Ibar draws a throw. C.J. Cron looking at signs down at third base. Gary DeSarcina, the coach. Cron has a walk and a strikeout. And the throw goes over to first. The Angels were doing some running earlier in this game. That has not been the norm for them. Ibar is 6 for 10. starts and stops. There is ball one. Don't taking all the way there. Maybe Ibar is going to steal, and sometimes you see a base runner after the first couple steps realizes he didn't get his jump and he goes back. White Sox lead the Red Sox 9-2 at Boston. They're in the top of the ninth inning there. The Royals up on the Indians 2-1. They're in the bottom of the ninth in Cleveland. Marlins 4, Nationals 1, top of the ninth at Miami.
See what the Yankees are doing in Arlington?
Yeah, they had that big 11-run second. They lead at 15-5 now in the third over the Rangers. Big cut by Cron. 1-1 the count. The Yankees are in an excellent position to pick up a high salary player here, as other teams may drop out of the bidding the next 3 days. Foul back. Apparently the Padres are shopping James Shields, but he has a high dollar contract, as you know. Now we're looking at the rule 10.04 on runs batted in the rule book. And apparently this is part of a play begun by the batter's safe hit, which was the case with Altuve. 2 runs scored on that play, so Altuve now has driven in 3 in this game tonight as a result of the 2-run single in the fourth inning. Helps to have a speedy guy like Jake Marisnick on.
Some kind of base runner.
Runner going, and it's popped up. Marwin Gonzalez up the right field line, turning now over to foul territory for the catch. McHugh got over, but by then Ibar had scrambled back. 2 outs. Looked like it could be trouble when Marwin first started back. Colby Rasmus could not have gotten there. It had been fair, but Marwin made up for that ground and he was able to get back to the play. Now it's Iannetta.
Not an easy play. That first baseman right down the line, but you can see what Marwin did. Kind of sprinted to a spot, then turned around to take a peek.
And the throw goes over again on Ibar. Rockies 5, Cubs 1. They're at the end of 5 now. Rockies moving on without Troy Tulowitzki after dealing him to Toronto, getting some excellent young arms in return. Toronto really going for it. Probably will now acquire a pitcher. Either that or plan to win a bunch of 8-7 ball games for the rest of the year.
I think they might need to score more than 8 in some cases.
It's ball 1 to Iannetta. Pirates 2, Twins 2 at the end of 5. The Astros currently are the wild card leader in the American League by 2 games over Minnesota for the first wild card spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. If the season ended today, they would both be playoff teams and they would play each other in a 1-game playoff at Houston. There's the way it looks in the AL wild card. The Orioles are 3 back. Then you see the Rays and Blue Jays in the picture.
I doubt that any Astros or any other players around the league are thinking about wild card yet. I think it's about winning your division.
Quite true. 1 and 2, that's not something players want to think about until maybe the last few days of the season, if that's all they have.
By the way, the Toronto Blue Jays are the big leader in runs scored around the American League presently, and they may need to increase those numbers.
They traded Jose Reyes, of course, among others, in that deal to Colorado. 2 and 2. Reds 3, Cardinals nothing. They're in the middle of the 7th inning in St. Louis. Reds traded Johnny Cueto, as you know, to Kansas City. Maybe dealing somebody else. Runner going, and it's ball 3 low. Stolen base for Ibar, his 7th.
Well, they've been trying to pick up a bag numerous times on the evening. Every time something has happened with the bat.
Phillies did beat the Blue Jays tonight 3-2 in Toronto. Felix Dubron took the start for Toronto, and he was the loser. Ball 4 puts Iannetta at first for Victorino now. Both these pitchers really struggling. That's walk number 4 for McHugh. And A.J. Hinch is on his way out. McHugh 1 out away from qualifying for the win, but he's just had such a difficult time putting his pitches where he wants. He's at 90 pitches right now. Victorino's 1 for 2 against him. And he stays in. I really like this kind of a visit, Ash, because it can allow the pitcher to refocus a little bit. Don't know what was said, but it's all about getting one more out here.
Yeah, and knowing AJ, I don't think there was any chewing right there. I think it was, look, you're forcing my hand. I can give you one more hitter right here, and I'd love to see you win this ball game. So go and get it done right now.
Exactly. Victorino looks at the slider. It's strike 1. Even though Victorino has stopped switch hitting a few years ago, wouldn't you still think that breaking balls, right-hander on right-hander, would be the way most people would attack him?
Yeah, it would be the natural thought.
0-2.
Good swing on a high heater right there.
Yes.
And I gather it was an injury that led Victorino to eventually stay over on the right side. But I would also guess that earlier in the career he was a right-hand hitter that just simply learned to switch hit.
He's had some tremendous postseasons. Curveball got him on strikes. That's number 3 for Colin McHugh. No runs, a hit, 2 men left in the middle of the 5th inning. Astros lead it 6-5. And by Jack in the Box, for a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Butter Jack with melted garlic herb butter. Sounds delectable, Ash. Colin McHugh got that final out in the top of the 5th inning. Now as he towels off, the Astros lead at 6-5. They come up in their 5th with Marwin Gonzalez to lead it off. He's 0 for 1 with a walk.
What if I said I went after one of those bad boys for lunch today and it was quite good?
That would not be shocking. There's strike 1 from Wilson with Mike Morin warming up in the bullpen. That's kind of your daily fare, isn't it?
No, not really, but it was one of those days out running around and felt I needed some true nutrition.
Oh, you needed protein, pal. Strike 0-2. These two starting pitchers are going to need protein if they're to go deep into this game tonight. 74 pitches so far for Wilson. Mets shut out San Diego 4-0 in New York. Ground ball foul. 0-2. Noah Syndergaard, Thor, winning his 5th of the year, beating James Shields. He's 8-4. It's got to be intimidating to face a guy with a nickname like Thor, doesn't it?
He can drop the hammer on you. I know that.
Well, tonight we walked nobody and struck out 9, giving up 3 hits, no runs in 8 innings. Tyler Clippard finished it up. Fouled away. Still 0-2 to Marwin with Correa and Gaddis to follow in the Astros 5th inning.
How do you battle off a tough breaking ball, trying to catch the outside edge with a couple of strikes on you, just like Marwin did there? He's made some very nice strides as a player.
He's had excellent at bats for several weeks now. That one came out of the hand wrong for Wilson. He goes to 1-2 in the count. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson was 13-10 last year, and he walked 85, the most in the American League last year, in 175 innings. This year, his walk numbers have been very much in line with solid pitching. He had 43 in 128 innings coming into this game. He's walked 3 and hit 2 batters tonight. Foul back. James Shields in losing for San Diego tonight. Allowed 3 runs in 7 innings. There are some who think that teams feel that they need not make a trade for Shields if they want him. That he may pass through waivers in early August, and they might be able to pick him up a lot cheaper than giving up prospects. That one almost hit him, and it's 3-2. Well, the Mets are in an interesting position right now, aren't they? They're certainly not out of it. They're 52-48. This will be the 9th pitch for Marwin Gonzalez. There's a shot on by Ibar into left field. Excellent at bat from Marwin Gonzalez. And he gets it started here in the home 5th with a sharp single.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep this guy out of the lineup right now. He's listed as the utility guy, and he's become a super sub on the ball club. But he's become such a super sub that you almost can't sub him anymore. Right-handed stroke has gotten strong and quick.
He's aboard for Carlos Correa, who has a homer and a walk tonight. Now Iannetta goes out. Warren's been warming up for a while now.
I'm not sure as a pitcher I want a catcher draping his arm around my shoulder like that when I know he's out there buying time so that the skip can take me out of the ball game.
And here it comes. Mike Scioscia's on his way. He makes the move to the right-hander, Mike Moran. Wilson shaking his head. He's allowed 6 hits and 6 runs so far. And Marwin Gonzalez at first base will be his responsibility. Here in the bottom of the 5th, the Astros lead the Angels 6-5. Back in
bring on the right-hander Mike Morin in 28 games. Numbers have not been good. ERA over the 6 mark with a 1-1 record. And against the Astros, a couple of earnings in 2 innings pitched. That equates to your 9 ERA, so even more struggles against Houston.
Morin will be facing Carlos Correa first up. The bullpen has been pretty sturdy lately. 15-8 for the season, a 3.40 ERA. And it's Correa batting. He has the homer and a walk. This home run was hit to the opposite field. Morin is 24 years old, taking over for the veteran Wilson. And over Minnesota, went to the University of North Carolina, 13th round pick in 2012. And he throws to first. Marvin Gonzalez with 3 steals and 5 tries, commanding some attention there. Morin gave up a 3-run homer to Robbie Grossman here, April 18th. Which is a strike call.
I don't think Mike Scioscia wanted to see Carlos Correa swing against C.J. Wilson again.
Fly ball into shallow right center field. That will be in for a hit. It pops away from Giovitella. And now here's a throw to third base on Marwin, but it's offline. He would have been dead at third base with an accurate throw, but Giovitella, who couldn't field that ball cleanly, let it get away from him. Does not throw out Marwin, and it's first and third, nobody out, single and an error.
Well, when you're hot, you don't have to hit it on the money, a line drive somewhere. You just hit it like this, and it's a base hit. And the Astros are set up beautifully to advance their lead.
Error pops away from him. That's what caused the error. Still would have had him, but the throw drifted. And that makes it first and third, nobody out for Gaddis. Gaddis 0 for 2, grounded to third, fly ball to center. Double play situation for Ibar and Giovitella. Flared foul, there's strike 1.
This has been a strange one right from the start.
You bet it has. Angels got 2 in the first. The Astros got a Correa homer in their half of the first inning. The Angels with 2 more in the second. Houston got 3 in the second. Carter with a 2-run homer. Fouled and it's 0-2. And an Iannetta homer in the third put the Angels up 5-4. And the Astros got 2 in the fourth on a single by Altuve. Still researching whether he should get 1 RBI or 2 on that play, with Marisnick scoring the go-ahead run.
I don't even mind the double play so much right here if you pick up another run.
Strikeout is not what you had in mind.
Yeah, that's the one you hate to see.
Lunging for that pitch off the plate by Morin. Gaddis strikes out. And Valbuena follows.
Now the double play doesn't provide you a run.
Well, Valbuena scalded the ball, lining into a double play in the third inning.
Yeah, Valbuena has had his struggles, but he's also hit in a lot of tough luck.
He was hit by a pitch and rode home on the Carter 2-run homer in the second inning. Throw to first base, and he gunned that throw on Correa. Correa is 5 for 6 in steals. And this would be a good time for him to steal a bag. Stay out of that double play. The Ranger pitchers tonight got 9 outs on their first 108 pitches of the game.
What?
Yep. Popped up. Gillespie coming over to foul territory. Now it's a fair ball. 2 outs. 9 outs on 108 pitches by Ranger pitchers in the first 3 innings.
Well, let me go back a couple of hitters and beg for the double play.
Yeah. And now Morin, after the single by Correa, has gotten Gaddis and Valbuena and faces Carter. Carter ripped the 2-run homer into the Astros bullpen in right center. Then he struck out looking. Bruce Davis of the Orioles drove in 5 tonight in their 7-2 win over the Braves. Carter looks at it, and it's ball 1. Big weekend coming up with Arizona here. There's not much focus on that right now. Not in a series that will determine who's the first place club. Way off the plate, and it's 2-0. But there are big Biggio giveaways coming up over the weekend. Carter looks at ball 3. 3-0. Hank Conger on deck. Last homestand, Morin had it together with 4 2/3 shutout innings across 4 outings. Carter looks at a 3-0.
Apparently Morin doesn't want Carter to see a heater.
Definitely not. Morin missed 34 games with a left oblique strain. Big pitch coming here for him. High. Oh, a high strike call. That's 3-2 now.
You can hear the crowd. They're just not accustomed to seeing this called a strike, but there it is in the top of that strike zone.
There it was. And that was displayed as a strike. Time is called. Carter backing away. 3-2, 2 outs. The runner at first, Correa, will be taking off. He's not being held on by Cron. And it's grounded wide of third. This is game number 11 between these two clubs this season. They'll still have another series remaining here. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. That's a big turnaround. Morin coming in to get 3 outs in a row and strand runners at first and third, keeping the score 6-5 Astros.
making a great diving attempt on a play. Connor Gillespie at the plate back in the first inning. You got to take me through this.
I saw it come off the bat, and it's instinct. I went after it. Unfortunately, I'm using a glove that's not broken in, and I think that would have been a SportsCenter top 10 if I'd have made it, but I didn't. But I know Brownie gave me a hard time. He gave me an error with a great effort. Should have made the play, but I have to blame it on the glove this time.
I know. You said you got some Twitter reaction.
I did. Got a lot of text messages, Facebook, Twitter. Everybody's blowing my phone up. And all I'm getting is a great effort and should have made the play.
Well, Mike, we got to work on that glove.
I will be.
Break it in.
Yes, ma'am. I will be back tomorrow.
Julia, apologize to him. Tell him I was wrong.
Brownie says he was wrong. He's apologizing to you.
Well,
I'm sure you appreciate that.
I do appreciate that, Brownie. I will forgive you this time.
Thank you. We're going to change the ruling, by the way. The ruling was double, even though the ball was foul. And he made a great diving attempt. He did everything he could have possibly done. Josh Fields in the game now. Daniel Robertson, the batter. There is strike one. Yeah, and he was overshifted also, Ash, there behind first base, so we have to cut him a break.
I didn't realize the term suck up could be taken to that extreme.
Oh, yeah. Daniel Robertson's 0 for 2. 2 ground balls to shortstop. Fields pitched Sunday at Kansas City, struck out the only man he faced. It's 1-1. Colin McHugh tonight in 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs. He walked 4, struck out 3. And he can be the winning pitcher. Fields is averaging 12.09 strikeouts per 9 innings, 6th among American League relievers. He gets a pop-up behind the dish, but out of play for Hank Conger. 0-2.
.33 games on the year. Fields, nice ERA at 2.78 with a very fine 105 whip. He's allowed 1 earnings in 4 games against the Angels on the season. Right-hand hitters have had a serious scuffle against Josh Fields.
145 qualifies as a serious scuffle.
I see you still have an E on that fan early in the ballgame.
That's got to be changed. We have 24 hours to change it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We need the ratings when he's at home, so it's not an error anymore.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, good play. Really a diving attempt. He sacrificed his body for that ball.
Boy, that glove looked like it was thoroughly broken in to me.
That's the play of the game, really. Even though he didn't catch it. That's a looping fly ball out to Marisnik. Positioned perfectly. And shallow, 1 out.
Okay, so what we see here is defensively set up in a perfect spot. So all the analytics had the defense set up beautifully, and then you go for the baseball, leaving your feet, and the effort is fine.
Oh, yeah.
See how that glove? It just looks like it's thoroughly broken into me. And
well, the reason I was wrong is that he was restrained by a wall. It prevented him from getting his body in a better position. Fouled away. Johnny Giovatella with strike 1.
First we jest. That was a great effort in the seats.
Yeah. So they're letting him know that we're sorry, and we'll make it up to him somehow. Giovatella has scored 2 runs in this game tonight. He led off with a walk, and then in the 2nd inning, he singled.
You know what that play ultimately did? It saved one of the other spectators.
Sure. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, we have dollar hot dog night tomorrow night. Every Wednesday night home game. You have that opportunity to pick up those dollar hot dogs presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. And it's a 7:10 start tomorrow night. Big cut and a swing and a miss by Giovatella. Tomorrow night in game 2 of the series, it's Lance McCullers and Garrett Richards. Thursday night, Scott Kazmir squares off against Matt Shoemaker. We thought Santiago was pitching that game, but Astros notes have Shoemaker. We'll check the Angels notes. Foul back. 1-2. It is Shoemaker. I was wrong on that one, Ash.
Are you?
Well, see, now we have Hector Santiago, but now we're reading it's Matt Shoemaker.
Did he possibly talk his way out of that start? Overly confident?
We have a difference of opinion on that Thursday starter for the Angels. Foul back. We'll sort it out. Still have a couple of nights to figure out who started. The Angels, with their 23-22 record away from home, have done well. They're 28-20 against the clubs in their division. The Astros 24-17 against the AL West. Popped up. Valbuena. 2 outs.
As a thank you to our fans for all of your support, all view deck and outfield deck tickets will be available for only $10. That's tomorrow and Thursday night's games. For more information, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/8HTownProud.
Yeah, Ash, a friend of mine said he came with a friend last week on Wednesday night. They got the $10 tickets and the $1 hot dogs. Now that's $11 for a battle for first place.
That's your combo platter right there.
Connor Gillespie is 2 for 3, 2 runs batted in. Ball one. Looked like Josh changing speeds on that one.
Yeah, Bronny, this is prime viewing stuff.
Who would have thought? Now, did you think honestly in spring training, hey, on July 28th, the Astros have a pretty good shot at playing a game for first place?
No, I didn't. And I doubt that anybody honestly could say they did.
It's 2-0.
But I think what we all did say during the spring is there's a lot of talent on this ball club.
True.
And we'll see how it develops.
Well, George Springer's been out for a few weeks now. And the Astros 9-11 in the month of July. Really hope to regain George's services, and won't know about that for a few more weeks until he's reevaluated for the broken bone. Marisnik back into left center field. That's Josh Fields. 1-2-3, 6th inning, and the Astros lead it 6-5.
Blues. He was mostly a catcher, we should say. Thanks for your tweets, by the way. I actually got a lot of right answers. I don't know what you guys got up there on your Twitter timeline, but the answer. So Alex Trevino, who was just with us in Kansas City, doing a great job.
Yeah, Julia, I would say I got a bunch of Alex Trevino's. Also some others. Bill Spires mixed in. Yeah. A lot of love from Alex Trevino.
Got a Casey Candel up here, Julia, but nonetheless, that's the answer.
Well, you can't get too many Casey Candels, can you?
Not really. Hank Conger, the batter. Hank takes strike one. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the second. Singled and scored a run in the fourth. Casey Candel, by the way, attended the Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Sunday. Great to see a lot of the Astros players there. That one way inside by Moore. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I even got a Jeff Kent or Jeff Blum.
Yeah.
With 2 M's.
Okay. Well, we thank everybody for taking part tonight. That's been fun. 2 balls and a strike.
Somebody thought he was playing Jeopardy. He said, "Who is Ray Knight?"
Okay. Well, we got an awful lot of varied answers. 3 balls and a strike to Conger. We got an Octavio Dotel.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a pretty good catcher.
Out to left center field, wide open out there for Hank Conger. He bangs that one off the bullpen fence, heads into second with a double. Quite a night for the former Angel. On base all 3 times. That's double number 7 for Conger.
Yeah, we were talking about Hank's right-hand stroke earlier in the ballgame, and it's at times really good. His left-hand stroke is his strength, and you can see he takes one probably off the outside corner and drives it up against that wall in left center field. He's got some very good pop from this side of the plate. Get that leadoff double, you love to score. Of course, last inning, the Astros had the man at third base and nobody out. Couldn't get it done, so maybe double up on it here.
Colby Rasmus looks at ball 1 high. He's 0 for 2. C.J. Wilson in 4 innings allowed the Astros 6 hits, 6 runs, walked 3, fanned 3, hit 2 batters. And Morin got tough after the Correa single and struck out Gaddis, got Valbuena on a pop, and struck out Carter. That's high, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Ronnie Cedeno was one of the guesses.
Saw that as well.
People were telling me that Alex is in the booth next door.
Now you've got a really tough one for tomorrow, I hear.
Oh, nobody will get that. That's foul. It came directly from Tal Smith, so nobody's getting that one.
Oh, not. So I thought it was the one that I had mentioned in your ear.
No, we'll save that for the next night.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of former Astros who were at the Hall of Fame ceremonies, Bill Spires was there. Tim Bogar came in. There were others.
Tim Bogar is in somebody's front office right now, right?
He works with the Angels, scouting. Fouled it. It's 2 balls and a strike.
I thought Tim was going to get that managing job with Arlington. Jeff Manister eventually got it, Houston guy. And I think both guys very qualified.
Yes. He's very accomplished at managing. He was managing in the Astros system, and he left to go with Cleveland as a minor league skipper. Wound up with Tampa Bay coaching. He's been a bench coach. Inside. That's about the second time Morin's come way in on a left-handed batter here in this inning. Missing by a lot. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A couple of Astros have been hit by pitches tonight as well. Gets in the middle of the plate and foul back. Still 3-2 to Rasmus. Incidentally, Ash, some people were upset. Carlos Correa got hit by a pitch Sunday. The Astros lost to Kansas City 5-1. And after George Springer's bone was broken in his right wrist here earlier this season against Kansas City, some Astros fans were very unhappy with those hit batters. High drive left center field. That'll go a long way for Rasmus, and that one is in play, and here's a run scoring. 7-5 on an RBI double. He almost hit it out. Rasmus hits those soaring shots. He gets RBI number 35 on his 17th double.
Now this ball also was almost caught. Almost a terrific play up near that wall, but Colby Rasmus can handle some very unusual pitches and hit them with a great deal of power. Well, it's nice when you get a leadoff double as Conger provided. Watch where this pitch is. Going right down there and getting it. He's got that barrel drop kind of a swing that I talk a lot about Miguel Cabrera employing. You can see how close that ball was to being caught there in left field.
Off the middle of the catcher Iannetta, and Rasmus advances to third, takes a big turn, then goes diving back. That could be a pass ball. Fernando Salas warming up now for the Angels.
Love on it. Yeah, just barely.
Victorino looked as if he thought he should have had it. Now the infielders come in. Foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Friday night, 10,000 fans get a Craig Biggio Hall of Fame bobblehead. Saturday night, a 6:10 start. Biggio Hall of Fame weekend continues. The special Biggio replica pinstripe jersey giveaway. Grounder there. And a play at first. Safe. He changed his call and goes with a safe call on Marisnik. Rasmus holding at third. Greg Gibson started to put up the right hand, and then he wound up with a safe sign at first.
Jake Marisnik he's a hustler is what he is, and he can really run, and he's fun to root for. And really glad to see Jake hustle this one out and be able to beat it. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like Jake definitely beats this one. And you know, we say it a lot of times, but that initial call is crucial because sometimes the plays are so close that they're just not going to reverse the call. So I'm really glad to see for Jake that Greg Gibson got this call ultimately right. There goes the fist, and then he thinks better of it.
Yes, he did.
Now, this is part of the mentality and ability that makes Jake such an outstanding center fielder.
I'm not a big fan of the head first dive at first, but that one was quick.
Was there any point there where, when you get the first baseman dashing to the bag, where Colby Rasmus might have had a shot to come to the plate? Hard to say. You hate to make a terrible mistake with nobody out, getting thrown out at the plate there.
Excellent point. 3 hits in a row in the inning.
Do you view this dive at first any different than the dives guys make at second, for example?
Well, a little bit. There's no tag involved here. But there's just a risk of injury, and it actually, with most players, slows down their progress more than running through the bag. But he got there quickly on that dive. There's a way to dive and a way not to dive. Now runners at first and third. Well, Jose Altuve is 2 for 3. Strike to Altuve. And sometimes the base runner will think that the fielder's about to try to tag him, so he'll try to go low with the dive to avoid a tag. Marisnick takes off, swing and a miss, no throw to second on him. He'll steal that bag. That's his 14th steal in 18 tries.
Yeah, he's a big part of that stolen base game for the Astros. For Jake, more than anything, it comes down to simply getting on base to take advantage of those wheels.
That could lead to a big inning now. Infielder's in very close. 0-2 the count. That went inside. Well, Warren is missing inside. It's the third pitch. He's thrown pretty far inside.
Far more inside than Albert Pujols took umbrage at early in the ballgame.
Yes, sir. That is.
And this wasn't as flagrant as the one that caused Colby Rasmus to jackknife earlier in the inning.
Altuve waited long enough to get a piece of it. As Morin threw him a different speed on that one, and Altuve was able to stay alive at 1-2 in the count. Well, the Astros are up 7-5. A hit here would really go a long way toward giving their bullpen working room. Marlon Gonzalez is on deck. 10 hits for Houston, 7 for the Angels. There's a shot, a long one to left field. Victorino over his head. That'll score 2. That'll make it 9-5. Altuve in with a 2-run double. Third straight hit for Altuve. Well, on that foul ball, he kept the count at 1-2, and then he got a pitch he could drive. That's his 21st double.
Have yourself a big night. And that's a swing that goes a long way to making this game feel, at least for the moment, like it is semi-securely in the Astros' corner. The little man with the power stroke. You take that one-run lead into a late inning, and on the other side, it doesn't feel comfortable, but it also doesn't feel comfortable to own that one-run lead. You want to stretch it, and that's exactly what the Astros are doing here.
Big night for Altuve. The Astros lead it by 4. Back in a moment.
Replica pinstripe jersey at the Visual Hall of Fame weekend. That's presented by Coca-Cola. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Do it today.
That's part of that Hall of Fame show, and Craig Biggio was introduced by Brad Ausmus, his former teammate. Brad so eloquent in his description of Biggio and what type of player he was, what type of teammate he was. Excellent scenes shown to the live crowd at Cooperstown on Sunday. Now it's Marwin Gonzalez against Fernando Salas. Runners at first, runner at second rather, and he bunts. Salas barehanding, throwing, and getting him. It'll be a sacrifice getting Altuve to third base in this 9-5 game. Almost got a hit.
Yes, he did, and that's the way you do it. If you're going to try to move that runner up, you needn't square around. Go ahead and try to get yourself a hit. Drop down a beautiful bunt as Marwin did. There was, I think, some initial question as to whether this ball might have hit Marwin, but the home plate umpire Sam Holbrook came out and got a good peek at it, and clearly there is no interference there. As Marwin runs well inside the baseline, had that throw hit him in the back, that would have been the best way for the Angels to get an out and keep the runner back at second.
First career 5 RBI game for Altuve. He's at third, and Correa takes strike one.
And lift the leg, looked like you're going to try to yank one and then drop down that gorgeous punt.
Infield in tight. That is a strike for Salas, former St. Louis Cardinal. It's 0-2 in 43 games, 1-1 with a 3.99 ERA. A low whip, 1.04. Native of Mexico, 30 years old. Whip is walks and hits per innings pitched. A little bit over 1 per inning. That's excellent. 1-2.
There's the life of the party right there. He gets on the planes and serves candy to everybody.
Does he?
Yeah, he is just the man.
Foul back. What do you get served?
He tries to, well, I don't know if I want to declare exactly. Customs might be on my doorstep tomorrow.
All right.
No, he's
gold jewelry.
Yeah. I've been a candy bar guy typically.
Baby Ruth.
You know that candy bar when your personality changes until you get it? That's the one.
Okay. Correa has had an excellent batting average with runners in scoring position. Takes ball 2. 2-2. What hasn't he been excellent at doing? Anything?
Can't come up with it for you, Brownie. I'm sorry.
Okay. Draw a blank.
Look, and I think everybody on the team and everybody that's played against Carlos Correa would have the same response.
Strike 3 called. Salas takes care of out number 2.
Difficult game, and sometimes it just doesn't pan out, but they try to work to the inside edge, leave it through the plate, but find the knees. Tell you this much, you'll take your chances with Carlos Correa at the plate over and over again in that scenario.
Evan Gattis will try for a 2-out hit now. He was 0 for 3 in this game. That's fouled away. Mike Leake came up with a shutout effort tonight for the Reds. They blanked the Cardinals 4-0. Leake going to 9-5 with 8 innings and 4-hit shutout ball. His ERA is 3.56, and he could be traded. Rovado hit his 19th homer. That statement also applies to about 200 other players right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's off that list?
1 ball, 1 strike. Jaime Garcia came back from an injury for the Cardinals, and he took the loss tonight. And then there's Aroldis Chapman. He might be switching uniforms as well.
How intriguing would that arm be to add to your bullpen?
Or Craig Kimbrell.
Yes.
1-2. Big swing by Gattis. They're in the top of the 6th in Arlington, Texas. The Yankees lead the Rangers 17-5. Tittle just threw a touchdown pass.
They go for 2 to come up with, well, 17. Let's see.
Yeah. No, they went for 1. Chris Capuano was gone. He was the Yankee starter. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 5 earned runs. Martin Perez went for Texas. Inside. And it's 3-2 now. Perez was nailed for 8 earned runs in 1 inning. And Wandy Rodriguez then came in. He gave up 7 earned runs in 1 inning. Relief work is not Wandy's strong point. That's a shot to left field. It's hooking and foul. Still 3-2 to Gaddis.
That was potentially whipped cream and cherry right there. Got a fastball to handle, just got a little too quick on it.
Gaddis shoots one to left center field. That's a flyer. That's way out toward the bullpen fence. That one bangs high off the wall. Kicks back toward center field. And he's going for 3. Here's the throw as the run scores. He's in with another triple. 7th triple. It's 10-5. Altuve scored easily on a 2-out triple.
Wait a minute now. That's 7 triples this year. That's 8 in the career of Evan Gaddis. So does that give you an idea?
Yeah.
So he was a little too quick on the previous one, and this time just jolts it out to left center field. Wow, what a night.
Every Astros reach base in this game. Here's Valbuena. 10 runs on 12 hits for Houston. Ball 1. He's the 8th Astro to bat here in the 6th inning. The last Astro with 6 triples was Michael Bourne. He had 7 in 2011. Trying to think of something in common between Evan Gaddis and Michael Bourne. That's the only thing that comes to mind. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think somebody would say, well, they both run with 1 foot in front of the other.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Came into the season with 1 triple.
There it is.
And now he's got 8. That's a pretty good quick read by some of the fans there. I'm not stopping with a double.
The Astros as a team have 12 3-base hits. Foul back. Single season triples record for the Astros. Roger Metzger had 14 in 1973.
Craig Reynolds used to pile up some 3-baggers.
Craig did have a lot of triples. He had 11 in 1984. And he had 12 in 1981. Steve Finley had 13 in 2 different seasons. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Who leads the American League? Kevin Kiermaier of Tampa Bay with 10. So Evan Gaddis is hot on his heels. Evan Gaddis has caught the fleet-footed Rajai Davis in triples.
That's interesting. Valbuena on a foul tip strikes out. 8 Astros come to the plate in the 6th inning. 4 of them score on 5 hits. Gaddis with the RBI triple. And the Astros have built a nice size lead through 6. 10-5. Harris comes out of the bullpen for the Astros. He's 4-2 with a 1.40 ERA.
Talk about a guy that's given hitters fits this year. Left-hand hitters 125, righties 159. It equates to that 0.82 whip. Will Harris, what a find he has been.
Waiver claim. An ERA of 0 in 3 games against the Angels. New left fielder as well. Preston Tucker taking over there for Evan Gattis. And now with the Astros leading at 10-5 and Tucker in left field. The infield is shifting around, playing Cole Calhoun to pull. He is 0 for 3. In tight for ball 1 to Calhoun. Josh Fields had a 1-2-3 6th inning. Cesar Ramos is warming up for the Angels, a left-hander. That's line to left field and in for a hit for Cole Calhoun.
Now Jack in the Box takes us inside the box scores. We look at Albert Pujols 2013 and 14. These are slugging percentages. You can see that Albert's numbers were not real high. You go to this year and the numbers have just skyrocketed. He has turned into Albert Pujols of years gone by, days back with the Cardinals, just tearing it up, and kind of a variety of numbers there and all over the place in terms of what he handles.
That's strike 1.
But I guess it's safe to say for the Angels, Albert Pujols is back this year.
Yeah, he hit 272 with 28 bombs last year. Already has 29 homers this season. Fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Pujols has more homers here at Minute Maid Park than any visiting player. One more home run this year will give him his 13th season with 30 homers. Hank Aaron's the all-time leader with 15. He swings at that pitch in the dirt, and Pujols strikes out. 1 down. Fans like that.
That's just totally getting fooled or guessing wrong on a slider right there. It's the bad start early. And once it starts, just no holding back. And you'd say, why would you swing at a pitch like that that bounces in front of the plate? Totally just optically challenged on that pitch.
Many of us can relate to that statement.
Optically challenged?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have been there.
Eric Ibar with a throw going over to first is awaiting the pitch from Will Harris. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI. Good player. 277 career batting average for Eric Ibar. And Howie Kendrick often hit 5th when he was with the Angels, and he was excellent. Here's ball 1.
Yeah, I think that's a really good assessment. Ibar is a good player. Is he a 5 hitter that is the guy that bats behind Albert Pujols? I think that's been a big question much of the year.
It's been a real search for Mike Scioscia. Nick over in left center field. Takes it in, out number 2. But in Ibar, things have gone well in that 5 spot in the order. Cron will be next. Cron is 0 for 2 with a walk. This game did not start well for the Astros. The Angels got 2 in the first, 2 more in the second, and 1 in the third. They have not scored since then. Meanwhile, the Astros got 1 in the first, 3 in the second, and then added 2 in the fourth, and they had a 4-run 6th inning. Strike to Cron.
Yeah, it has been one of those nights, Brownie, when you've got Colin McHugh going to the mound with 11 victories, seeking number 12, and after an inning and a half you're trailing 4-1, and the Angels coming in have been beating up a lot of clubs. It's not a good feeling. It's turned around in a big way tonight for the Houston Astros.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cron was a first-round pick in 2011 by the Angels. He's from Fullerton, California. Went to the University of Utah. His father, Chris, played for the Angels and the White Sox and is managing in the Detroit farm system. He fouls away. His father, Chris, had 25 major league at-bats with 2 hits in his career. And CJ had 3 hits in his first major league game. More than his dad did in his entire major league career.
That is just not being respectful at all.
No.
And Dad couldn't have been prouder.
You're right. Ubaldo Jimenez won for Baltimore 7-3 over Atlanta and Julio Teheran tonight. Freddie Freeman hit his 13th homer for the losing Braves. That one bounces and the runner takes off. Wild pitch. Calhoun to second base.
You know, for a catcher, there is no game plan to block a pitch that bounces that far in front of home plate. That's the second just yank it into the ground pitch thrown this inning by Harris. And you can see Conger actually do a really good job, but they always say make sure you get on top of that breaking ball. There are extremes.
Sionetta's on deck. Marisnik well over into right center field for Cron. He grounds 1 foul outside first. Still 2-2.
Oh, he got it. Uh-oh, he's gonna go take it from him.
Well, there are all kinds of rumors out there regarding the Astros' quest to improve their team. Some rumors have them looking for a relief pitcher. Some have them looking for a hitter. Some have them going for a starting pitcher. Broken bat roller. Correa throwing to first with the barrel of the bat, winding up beyond the infield dirt. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. The Astros lead at 10-5 in the 7th. And the young right-hander, Will Harris, who just worked a scoreless 7th inning. Yeah, he is a great personality, Trey Hellman. He and A.J. Hinch, very dynamic team in running the ball club.
He's kind of the team DJ on the road, Brownie.
Is he?
You don't get to see a lot of it, but he brings this little speaker that he'll connect to his phone and turn on the music, and he'll get the party going along with George Springer.
Chris Carter comes up. Here's pitcher number 4. He is lefty Cesar Ramos. He's 2-0 with a 1.57 ERA.
And he's touting some really nice numbers as well. That 1.5 ERA, 115 WHIP. And hasn't allowed a hit to the Astros in 4 previous games.
Carter rocked a 2-run homer to the Astros bullpen. There's strike 1. He struck out twice since then.
You know, that was a big swing. That took that 4-1 lead I was talking about that the Angels had early and turned it into a 1-run game. It was 4-3.
Yeah, the Astros have featured that long ball as a great way to get back in a game after trailing. And sure enough, they've come from behind to win on more than 20 occasions this year. 24 come from behind wins. Foul back, 0-2. Mike Morin in 1 inning allowed 5 hits, 4 runs with no walks. He struck out 2. Fernando Salas 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. What's Orbit doing tonight?
Oh, I saw him taking photos with the fans early. He's got such a warm and fuzzy smile too.
He's interacting with Marcel Braithwaite right now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Marcel, one of 3 people on earth who can understand Orbit.
I think he's just faking it.
Yeah. High drive center field. Robertson going back. 1 out. Jeff Samardzija won for the White Sox tonight. 8 innings, 4 earned runs. He's now 8-5. He beat Boston and Wade Miley 9-4. Samardzija might be moving on. Hank Conger has been on all 3 times tonight, and he has scored 3 runs. Hit by a pitch, a single, and a double for Hank. Wade Miley got lit up for 10 hits and 7 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. That's ball 1. Yankees are now leading at Texas 19-5 at the end of 6. One ball, 1 strike. The Rangers really were making a run, and it was surprising to many that they were. But now they're 47-51. You know, theoretically, 2 balls and strike. Although the Rangers, if they do acquire Cole Hamels, wouldn't be in this group. That would be more of a down the line for the next couple of years kind of move. But some of these teams like the Reds, the Phillies, doing the sell-off routine right now could be what every team wants on their schedule for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? They'd be quite a bit weaker on paper. It doesn't always play out that way.
Which is why I think is at least part of the reason that I said the other day that teams that tend to win their division or get in as a wild card tend to win more down that last month and a half, because I think some of the teams have frankly weakened themselves.
Right, and we've seen that with the Astros last few years. Conger strikes out when they have traded veterans for prospects who do not go to the major league club. It weakens the team. Doesn't always work out that way in a given series or game, but over the long haul it usually does. 2 outs now, and Rasmus bats. He's 1 for 3. The Rays whacked the Tigers 10-2, and former Devil Ray left-hander David Price was the loser. Jake Odorizzi the winner. Price giving up 5 earned runs in 6 innings.
That makes you really think too, because I think for a lot of us in the game and fans, David Price is kind of that gem out there that a lot of people would love to have land on their club.
Casale hit 2 home runs tonight for Tampa Bay. The young catcher's been lighting it up lately. Longoria hit his 11. Foul ball, 1-1. There is that dilemma for the Rays. Are they in it or are they out of it? 51 and 51, so they're in it.
You know what the problem for the Rays, in my opinion, is right now? There's too much in front of them. There's two teams, Baltimore and Toronto, 7 games back. The Yankees are just tearing it up. That's really tough to make up that kind of distance.
2-1.
But we've seen it done. In fact, the Astros, a club that did it back in the early mid-2000s.
And what should the Tigers do? They're now 48 and 52.
I have no idea, because I don't understand why they're scuffling at the rate they are.
That's through the shift and on into right center field for a Rasmus single. Colby's 2 for 4 tonight.
I don't know. You have an answer as to why the Tigers have turned into a team that's not a contender?
Well, Verlander's had a terrible year for one thing. You know, their pitching in general has not really lived up to billing.
Could you point to Max Scherzer being traded?
Yeah, in terms of not having the innings and the quality starts, things of that nature.
I'm trying to remember now. Was he a free agent?
Yeah, he was a free agent. Marisnik is 1 for 2 with a walk, 2 runs scored. There's strike 1. And, you know, Detroit has a high payroll already. The injury to Miguel Cabrera has not helped them.
That's a big one.
But then J.D. Martinez has had a year too. No balls, 2 strikes. It seems, from what we're hearing, that there may be a new general in town leading that club, and the payroll may start to get smaller.
You're saying Dave Dombrowski could be on his way out?
That's one of the rumors. But apparently the owner's son is going to start running the club now, from what we're hearing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So there may be a major change in philosophy in terms of the payroll.
Is that with Dave Dombrowski in place?
Well, that's yet to be decided. There are rumors that Dave may wind up going to Toronto to be the president of the Blue Jays. He's in the last year of his contract. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's been a difficult year for Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, it looks all rosy when you take over a team that looks like the best in their division, but then when they don't win, not good times.
Marisnik went out for it and wound up striking out. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left after 7. The Astros lead at 10-5. By Whataburger. Come meet Dallas Keuchel tomorrow from 11 a.m. until noon at the Whataburger off Beltway 8 at Westlake Houston Parkway.
For more information, visit astros.com/appearances. And by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. Orange-clad youngsters in the crowd tonight. They've watched the Astros build a 10-5 lead. The 8th inning is upon us, and it's Chad Qualls. He'll be pitcher number 4 for the Astros.
Chad's been pitching effectively since coming back off the DL. That pain in the neck that he had apparently affected his game because he's really turned it back around. 5 games since the DL stint and 4 1/3 scoreless innings.
He's trying to be a pain in the neck to the Angels hitters. They come up here in the 8th inning trailing by 5. Will Harrison 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs with no walks and a strikeout, and now the infield is shifted around for Iannetta. Iannetta grounds right into that shift. Valbuena, 1 pitch, 1 out for Qualls. Yeah, Qualls has looked like his old self, so to speak, after getting that pinched nerve in the neck problem cured with the procedure. And
I think I'd shape up after taking the needle to the neck too.
Oh boy, nobody wants that, but it's worked for him. Shane Victorino bunted his way on in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 3. Qualls worked a scoreless 8th inning on Friday in support of Scott Kazmir's debut. He struck out a couple. So 5 scoreless outings since he came off the DL for Chad Qualls, and there's strike 1 to Victorino. Jose Fernandez of the Marlins beat Washington in Miami 4-1. He doesn't lose at home. He's 15-0 in his major league career at home. Rolled out to shortstop. Correa charging. Quick transfer and 2 outs.
You know, a big guy, a guy his size should not be able to play with that kind of grace at short. He's committed to that one hand right there, and then the quick exchange likes to come up nearly over the top, and he's accurate and strong with that.
What a pleasant young man.
He is that.
Daniel Robertson's 0 for 3. I asked him tonight, so did you enjoy your day off? He said, why wouldn't I? I'm playing in the major leagues.
I guess that would be the Class A answer you could possibly get, huh?
Strike 1 to Robertson. Now some think that if Carlos puts on several pounds, what, maybe 20, he'd have to move to third base. High chop over the mound. Correa will let Altuve try it, but does not get him. Robertson's on with a 2-out single.
Yeah, to your comment about Correa and the weight, I'm very hopeful that he can find a way to keep his weight right where it is now. And he's got plenty of power. Quite an effort there by Jose Altuve on a play that was tough to determine who takes this ball.
Yeah. On the one hand, the shortstop has the angle coming across. Second baseman's coming straight in, then has to turn sharply to his left and throw back across his body. But he had a direct route to the ball. Giavotella looks at strike 1. He has scored 2 runs tonight with a walk and a single. Wade Davis got the win. The Royals got a run in the 9th and won at Cleveland 2-1. Getting Trevor Bauer. Greg Holland getting his 22nd save. Bauer had a complete game loss. Backhanded Valbuena throwing to second, and that's an excellent play. To Altuve for a 5-4 force on Robertson. No runs a hit, a man left. 10-5 Houston.
hit, and that drove in this run. In fact, it led to a couple of runs because of Altuve's expert base running. And mentioned expert base running. How about Marisnick as well? And then this one in the 6th inning, a double that played it a pair. Jose Altuve with 5 ribbies on the night has really put up the offensive side for the club.
That's a major league high for him. There's ball 1. He has 3 consecutive hits, 2 singles and a double, driving in those 5. 3 for 4 tonight. 13 hits for the Astros. Ramos gets a ground ball to second. Giabatella on over to first. We have an update on the travels of Charlie Kerfeld, Philly Super Scout. He's watching Corpus Christi tonight.
You got scouts out scouting the scouts?
Yep. Marwin Gonzalez has a single and a walk, also a sac bunt tonight. And Jeff Luhnow has talked about this. Every organization, of course, does this, scouting other clubs, minor leaguers, for times like this when minor leaguers are put into a trade. Might be something to it, maybe not. Here's ball 1.
It's gotten to the point now you can't go anywhere without somebody tweeting about where you're at.
Yeah, he's going to have to put on that fake glasses and mustache outfit again. 2 balls, no strikes.
It was Charlie along with others wearing the cone head mask back in '86.
Yeah, 86. Well, that's when you told us Yogi Berra would come in, and it was Larry Anderson and Charlie Kerfeld and who? Juan Augusto? Who was the third?
It was
let's see.
Anyway,
it wasn't Dave Smith.
No, it was not. It was
Andy.
No,
Charlie Kerfeld.
Guy from Mexico.
Lopez.
Yeah.
Aurelio Lopez.
Yeah, he was the third.
So Yogi would say, "You 3 make quite a pair."
That was the line that Yogi said, and I was actually walking right along with Yogi, and I thought, you know what? I actually heard one of the Yogi-isms come out, and there was no put on. Of course, he's always right with what he says.
Well, if Charlie Kerfeld is scouting the Corpus Christi Hooks with the cone head on, we've got a story. Love to have a photo of that on Twitter.
That'd be good. Yeah.
That's a walk to Marwin.
And now our TXU Energy power player. Early in the ball game, Carlos Correa provided some offense. He's got a couple of hits tonight, including this opposite field long ball that came back in the 1st inning. Angels had struck for a pair. This one made it a 2-1 game and made it feel like the Astros might have some offense coming tonight, and it certainly played out that way.
Correa, in addition to his homer, has a walk and a single tonight. Line drive goes into the seats.
Hey, watch some of these balls that he hits to right field. They look like a left-hand hitter with some pop is just stinging them down there.
Yeah. Batting average up to .295 for Carlos. Since the All-Star break, before tonight, he was hitting .345 with 8 runs batted in 9 games. 1 ball and 1 strike. He started the night, and you saw the graphic perhaps earlier. He was tied for the American League shortstop home run lead with Marcus Semien. But he had played in just 41 games. Well, he took over that lead with his 1st inning long ball. Into right field for a hit. Marwin to second base on the single by Correa, his 3rd hit of the night.
I used to hear of a lot of big RBI guys that they would just fight pitches in. So we were always told, don't try to work this guy in with men in scoring position because they'll fight it off and shoot it into right field. And that's exactly what Correa is starting to do now with some of these inside pitches. And that's a fight he is winning.
Preston Tucker bats for the first time tonight. He entered the game in left field for Evan Gattis, who was 1 for 4 with an RBI. .262 for Preston, 9 homers, 27 runs batted in. He's had 210 major league at bats. Ball 1. He often plays against lefties. They're slugging it out in Minnesota. Pirates 8, Twins 7. The Pirates just broke the tie with 1 in the top of the 9th inning. What are we doing there? A little finger strengthening exercise for the youngster. He doesn't seem to be buying in. Giamatello with a backhanded flip. There's Ibar. It's a 4-6-3 double play. We move to the 9th inning, 10-5. Astros fans have watched a lot of runs score tonight. 10-5 Astros, top of the 9th inning. Lefty Tony Sipp warming up for Houston. And we're getting questions on Twitter about the appearance from Dallas Keuchel. It's coming up. Apparently the address is not the one that had been advertised a couple of days ago. Tony Sipp 2-4 with a 2.83 ERA. And we have a correction to make. It will be the Whataburger on Highway 6 North at West Road from 11 a.m. until noon, and that is tomorrow. So Highway 6, and that's the address that had been advertised a couple of days ago. Connor Gillespie is leading it off here in the 9th inning. He is 2 for 4 with an RBI. I've been chastised about the Dave Dombrowski rumor on Twitter.
And well, you should be.
The gentleman he is demanding to know where I heard that Dave Dombrowski might be leaving Detroit, because we're talking about a man's job here, he said. Unfortunately, we cannot reveal our sources. No, it's been out there in print. And there's also a very skilled major league writer here tonight who is up to date on those things, and we're not wishing any change of jobs on Dave Dombrowski whatsoever. He is a terrific man. Done a great job. And he was back to Montreal Expos days, skilled executive. Ground ball to first. Marlon Gonzalez takes it.
Home records rather for the Astros over the history of the franchise. And you can see this year stacks up very nicely. 33-17, trying to add to that. Very best one they ever had, 2005. That was the World Series year, 36-14. It is game 51 at home, Brownie.
very interesting position. The Astros about to be moving into a first place tie, it would appear. Cole Calhoun 1 for 4 with strike one. This is game number 101. The Astros are currently on a pace to win 89 games this season. Bouncer to Sepp. Whoa, 2 outs. Hang in there, Marlon.
Larry Anderson had just gotten back to the mound.
These fans want to see a share of first place. And one more out will do it. Albert Pujols, the batter. He is 1 for 3, an RBI single. Well, these two teams have certainly held down first place for a long, long time in the AL West. Lance McCullers and Garrett Richards tomorrow night at 7:10. And it's certainly looking like the winner of that game will move into first by 1. That's ball 1. As Ash mentioned, the Angels led this one 4-1. It would be the 25th come from behind win for the Astros. Their bullpen has made those leads hold up. They're 40-5 when they lead after 6 innings. It's 2-0, or 1-1 rather, and they've had another multi-home run game tonight. Correa in the first, Carter in the second. Six unanswered runs were scored after they trail 5-4 going to the bottom of the 4th. 2 balls and a strike. Colin McHugh, the starter, can be a 12-game winner for the first time in his major league career. He went 5 innings, allowing 7 hits, 5 runs. Fly ball out to center field. Marisnick racing back. Long run for Jake. He's underneath it, and that will do it. The Astros and Angels share first place in the American League West. 55-44 for the Angels, 56-45 for the Astros. Just percentage points separating them from each other. A virtual first place tie. Sip getting the final 3 outs. And the final score is Houston 10, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 5.